A very good afternoon and welcome to our first edition of African Stars Legends. We will be talking to some of the club greats as we walk you down memory lane about their stints and lodgings in the Kasarandu clan. Joining us now is Mr. Colin Usura, former goalkeeper of African Stars. Katisha, welcome to the program.
Thank you, CK.
Can you please walk us through your journey with African Stars? You are one of the longest serving members of the club. Oversaw something like 2 to 3, 4 generations. Can you just please tell us how you came to African Stars?
Thanks, CK. I'm very delighted to be one of those that still can speak about our journey. As you know by now, quite a number of players that we play with are no longer with us. So I feel very fortunate to be here. Well, it might bring some tears, it might bring some joys, because we talk about a few years back, I'm about 60 now. So it would take me 40 years back on the memory line. Well, we were quite a number of young players that we mainly were, by the time, that was the fitting school secondary. Like guys came from Okakarara Secondary School, and by the time I was schooling at Agustinium. And that is the time when I remember very well that Africans that used to come train at the soccer field, and somehow, I don't know who was the people, they spotted us and then asked me to play for African Stars. And I started first in the second, that was the second, you call it second team.
Second team.
Yes, for African Stars. But it didn't take long, then I realized perhaps I should be pushed to the first team. That's how I have started playing with African Stars.
You must have had a lot of courage. I mean, going into a team where they had probably the best goalkeeper ever in the history of Namibian football, in the person of Jiva. And you knew somewhere at the back of your head that you're not going to enjoy a lot of game time. So, but how did it feel like? Were you not discouraged that you just being an understudy for the best goalkeeper?
That is something that I have to be proud of, and that normally many people do not want to take time to learn from the masters. And in my case, it was definitely the opposite. I saw the opportunity to learn from the great goalkeeper that the country that time had. And for me, playing time was not really a necessity for the time. For me, it was about how did he then do the best as a goalkeeper, test it, and how can I improve? And then from there, how would I gradually enter into the team? And as you have said, Jiva was great. And for me, it was a blessing to have learned from him. And it didn't take long after I had been understudy for him. Obviously, that time, the blood boiling sometimes later, wanted to play, but I think I have good managers. I remember that team manager by the time it was Stanley Kodongwidi, and obviously the current manager, Les, was still part of the team. So through mentorship, it played a major role, and I waited for my time to come. And I still remember very well the first game, and not only the team, you know, CK, the crowd. That team is a team of the supporters that really behind the club. And you know, the way they were also dealing with players, you have to have the heart of steel. You are only good if you play good. And that is where not every player by the time with a soft heart that could stand and play for that team.
I played for African Stars. I played against African Stars. It's a big team. And you could feel it. Even in the tunnel, when you walk out of the dressing room, look at that crowd, you can feel it. You start shivering. Whether you're playing for African Stars or you're playing against African Stars, shivers were always running right out in your belly. Yeah. So how did it feel when you made your debut for African Stars?
Yeah, two specific occasions that I can still remember. It was a game against Ramblers. I'm not sure whether that time CK played for Ramblers. I know that we play against each other, for each together. Remember, sometimes I play for Hungry Lions. We were together against each other. But I remember two specific situations. It was a game at SKW, and Jiva was not there. And like you know, it was not the time where communication was like today. So it was just next moment I saw the car came to Agostinium, come pick me up and said, teacher, you must come play. Well, when I came there, the crowd, like you said, going to the dressing room, and I remember the late Kuhanga, Sidok.
Sidok, yeah.
Then he remembers a huge guy. Then he saw me, I was a very skinny young boy at 18, 20 years, in less than 19 years. Then he looked at me and he told the guys, come on guys, this team is not for kindergarten, it's not for youngsters. Where's the goalkeeper? Then that make Oscar Mengo very angry. He said, well, this is the guy we have. If you have a better goalkeeper, bring him now.
Yeah.
Then I look at the guy, and the guy was very big. Then Oscar said, teacher, don't worry, it's okay.
He was a very kind-hearted guy.
Yes.
Don't make a mistake.
Yes, exactly. Then I went and played against the Ramblers team. I did not consider a goal at all. And after the game, this big guy came and looked at me from top down, and he didn't say a thing, he just gave me a handshake, walk away. So in itself, like you have said, it was a guy who really took the club at his heart. And he was not sure with this small boy they're going to win the game. That was the first one. Then another one was when we played against Orlando Pirates at Independence Avenue. Remember there was the Klingi Kasep, the sharpshooter? And then again, I only came in when my mentor was not available. Then I went on the field and Gazep saw this young boy. And remember, CK, that time I was really, really small. The jersey was over here and so on, tried to cover the body. Then Gazep looked at me and it was telling George Garisep. Remember, George was the right back and Gazep was playing the left wing. Then he was telling George in a vernacular, which was Damaranama. He said, George, what is going to happen? This small boy, you want me to kill him now? Then I asked George, what's he? No, he said he want to kill you with a ball. Then
And he could shoot, don't make a mistake.
Yes. It was a hard shot and it was proper, not this. He knew when to shoot the ball and it attacked it. Then George was encouraging me, telling me, no, teacher, don't worry, I'm here. That guy will never get a chance to shoot at you. So just be brave like always. I saw my heart. I gained some confidence that there's a shield in front of me. And as you know, you might find some space to shoot. He cannot be under guard every time. And then there is a time when he got one hard shot, and I went for it. And the ball, remember our mentor, it was if the ball comes to you as a goalkeeper, it must die. As a goal,
You must kill it. Yeah.
you must kill it. Grab the ball, on it. They should not give a chance to develop a striker there. If that comes to the keeper, he will hit the ball back. For us, it was the case. When it comes to you, they must start to run away. The ball is dead.
Yes, that, yeah.
So then he shot and the ball just ended up in my body. I don't know today, but the ball went just dead. Then he looked surprisingly and said, oh, it's a Hurot Manekiri. It's like now saying he's a big man. So that was the real patriotism for me, for the club.
Now, you see, when you joined African Stars, it was at the peak. But many of the players were already in the sunset of their careers, playing careers. And from there on, the club took a bit of a dip. How did you manage to navigate yourself through all these obstacles?
Yeah, CK, you are 100% right. Remember, that is when the infusion of the young generation like the late Yuku, Bernard Newman, Buddha Mugunda, and that is the time, like you correctly said, remember Yaman Mukas. So those was the two group within a team. That is the time when we have the Oscar Mengos, the Chiheros, we're talking about Nhonyo now, talking about Lenny, we're talking about the big guys who was carrying the team all the way. So that was the time, and of course, not forgetting Doc Atley Nabeb.
Doc Nabeb, yeah.
Yeah, Doc Nabeb, and also Timo Kakosep, the Hazim Ingeri them. That is the time really when we came in it was the time when they were aging. But they were aging, but don't make a mistake. They knew the skills. They knew how to play the game. The only thing was the pace. They were coming slow and bringing on the late like Yuku, he was very fast. And that is when during the team talk, we were reminded that the guys play but try to balance some of these guys. Correctly stated, CK, is that that is when we have to realize we are the future of this team. But with due respect, we really understand the skills, the experience these guys had. And that is where it was easy for us to learn from them and to see how best gradually we can introduce new skills, new way of play, and so on. So they were very supportive, not that they were taken out of their position, but obviously they see us as the people who will carry their legacy.
In your time, you came at a time when the golden generation of African stars. That was the golden generation of African stars. Kamusa Randu, Oscar Mengo, Ben Kawayao, Tok Naupep, all these guys now entering retirement age.
Yes.
And with such a volatile crowd, they are used to winning, putting pressure on players, swearing at players. We know all these kind of things. They were not too kind to appreciate or to accept any errors. So how did you guys manage to pull it through?
Well, in my case, it was very easy. It became easy later on. Jiva was a little bit becoming slow, and it was not easy for him.
Too many injuries.
Yes, and he made every time of years that went. Remember, goalkeepers, we took knocks, and that is a time when we play against Black Africa. Then, as you correctly say, our supporters, not all of them were of that attitude. We were good supporters who analyze, who support the team, who want the team to win. And during camping time, they used to come and bring even a half, 7 or 6 starting lineup. Then we play against Black Africa. Then it became obvious that when it comes to Jiva and Snewe, Fela, Jiva made some simple mistakes. Because of fear or whatever it happened. Then they start to introduce and saying themselves.
It was his bogeyman.
Yeah. Then they said, put in a young boy. They already brought the starting lineup. It was, I don't know which cup or what game. It was a crucial game. Then the managers, under the door, they saw a team that has been proposed of 6, 7 players. They knew exactly how they want the team to play. Then they, I don't know who was the manager that time, he said, teacher, look, you must start. How do you feel? This is never and what? Well, I say for me, it means nothing. For me, it's a game like other. Now, CK, that is the introduction of me gradually now having more gains because they've realized the young generation that is taking over, they are also a formidable team. And that's how it was easy for me to say. And that in itself, I have the support. They wanted me to come in. So then it was easy for them to say, no, don't say that, don't do that. Leave him. He's a young boy, let him grow in a team. So that support in itself have helped a lot of youngsters that came in the team.
Now, let me just quickly go off the cuff now. Coming from a sporting family, your brothers were more into rugby.
Correct.
Where did the interest come from in football, not emulating your brothers?
Yeah. Well, growing up in the town of Maruru, rugby was never a game to be played there. The only thing was soccer. I played the normal rural soccer, and I played for the club that was called
African Lions.
African Lions?
Scorpions and African Lions.
African Lions. Look, you remember even better than me. I played for African Lions as a goalkeeper there, but remember I started as a forward. And then I went to Agostinium. In 1978, Then when 79, 80 there, the late Charles Golu was the goalkeeper for City of Windhoek City,
In the city.
which was also somehow was a fitting team for the African Stars.
Yeah.
And of course, that was the time also we played like against the Deti, Golden Bees, and Koko Matunga them and so on.
And then Boy Jadila.
Yeah, exactly. Them fitting the Tiger team, Black Africa, Preston Mugane also, the time of that. So obviously, that is when I was introduced, when Charles Golo for Windhoek City was no more coming in. So then, from the forward position, I was simply trained by very funny people. I was trained by Eames. Namansebi was a schoolmate, and my own brother, which is now my brother Emmanuel. Then, remember, Emmanuel was my brother from home. We used to play a normal soccer, kick and what do you call it? He stand on the other side, we kick and grab the ball.
Yeah.
Then I've been playing that goalkeeping from home. And then he knew how probably the talents I had as a brother raising me. Then I was, towards the end of the year, I was put in a position of Windhoek City as a goalkeeper. Then eventually I ended up to be the goalkeeper for the school. Then in 81, 92, I was the top goalkeeper. I was the the goalkeeper for the club.
You were a member of the team that won the Mainstay Cup final in 1984.
That's right.
And you went on to enjoy a lot of successes with African Stars during the integration of not multiracial football, independent football,
Yes.
where
Yeah.
all the teams were now playing again under one umbrella. You know, it started already in 1977,
Yeah.
and then in 1985 there was a breakaway, and then again after independence the teams came together again. We were part of that process. Tell us about your memories about your lodging in African Stars.
Yeah. Well, like you correctly have said, with African Star, and remember, I only played for one club, and that was the African Star. You might come back at a time, earlier stage, when I wanted to go to Black Africa. That I was refused the payment to go. It was a big story. They didn't want to go, let me go, but then eventually I have to stay and play only for one club. Loyalty was the motto. Now, during that time, we had many cups. You mentioned the Mainstay Cup final. We have the Metropolitan Cup. We have the what was the one for? We play like Metator or what?
Matador Cup.
Yes, and eventually, remember, we end up going to play in Boyumai when in 1992. Directly after, almost like you said, you did mention that when we ended, it was a time when the other players were aging. It happened to us around in the 1992, 87 there, when we were aging. All of us, the Nico and Joes, the late Poppy, were around 33, 34. It came to us almost the same time, and that was the time when we call it the youth soccer from the village. What is it called? This is the one that they start playing it at
Kasu football.
And there's the village one, we call
The
it.
village football, the Rasafat football.
Yeah, that came in, and that was a time when every altar brought whoever played there in the resort, a player here. Remember the 1991, that is when African Star went for relegation. And that is the time when we play against Benfica, Ino Chuarongo. The same time, I don't know who was playing against Blue Water in Wafspy. And that is where the next year, 1992, we end up playing, we won the league.
No, Rebels won the league in 1992.
1991.
1991, yeah.
Yes. That's why we end up playing in Buimai for Cup in 1992.
Yes.
Because we won the
The league
league.
in 1991. Yeah.
Yes, correct. So that's why, that is the time when that time we were almost 33 years. We were about thinking about building our own family, and of course, putting some cattle at home and so on. It was a difficult time to exit. And that is because of what we have built. Remember, 1981 until 1997. In 1996, I was planning to get now exing and getting married to family man. I remember very well the late Ropi, when I started not coming to the training, Arono management, they put him on and pulling me to come train. Remember Ropi in front of the crowd? They said, teacher, you must come. And say, Ropi, I start Monday, my ankle. Ah, teacher, bakan Monday. So it was a very difficult time for us also to exit, because we created a vacuum, because a lot of us were the same age. The Bernard Newman, Poppy, Nico, and all those, maybe 8 people. And that was the time for us to say, our time is now. We didn't want to stay overstay. And that is where then we brought in the young guys like John Zapata them, and Kaimus, and those are the young one. But of course, Waka Waka Kokosep was with us. So it was really a good time that we have enjoyed winning. Obviously, as you have said, with African Star supporters, there was no lose. It was just the game or the tournament is on as long as the team is playing. If we exit any tournament, they will say, oh, the game is over. There's no soccer. Let's go to the kettle. So it was a very difficult time for us. There was no weekend that you must stay away. You must play in and out. And remember, I have to go to Kakarara, and we have to travel from Kakarara, me and Nori, Kanyuka, remember? Or midweek, Wednesday, come play, go back 4 o'clock, teach the people in the class. Friday we come back again, stay over the weekend, Sunday you go. It was not easy as it is.
Now, if the modern game, a lot of things have changed, dynamics around the game, the balls traveling much faster. Now, what would you say? And then we see, if you watch football now, there's a massive gulf between all the players from the old years and now. What will you say? What is the problem with? You barely see players scoring goals from outside the box. You barely see players scoring from set pieces. I mean hitting the ball around the wall and all this. What would you say? What should be done and what went wrong that the players cannot do the basics?
Well, Carlos, that's a very interesting and in-depth question that you're asking me. In your question, there are a lot of things that must be explained and put it on paper for people to understand. You see, we are fortunate enough to have played the game, understand the game, and also in a position to see what is happening now. We can compare, but those who would never saw Pele playing, they cannot compare Pele with Messi and Ronaldo. You can only compare if you know both. You cannot compare me, for example, against my own boy, who is now the futsal Ramblers goalkeeper. So those are the dynamics that should be understood. You highlighted very important things. During our time, those guys, you yourself, look at your physique, look at your body, look at the power, the confidence that you had to score as a striker, not from inside the box. Look at the skills of those Doc Hartley and those Norris.
Oscar Mengo, Yuku, and all
Yes.
those guys, Dale Stefanes.
All those guys. And the late Blue Water striker, what was the guy who was playing on the wing, who could also dribble. Those are the guys that they had all the skills. Don't make a mistake. Those are talents. We have never coached with A and B, CAF or FA. We had guys that could only instill confidence in us, and the rest was up to us. So how we managed, and it's unfortunate that people will think that we talk about things that never materialize, but they never saw it. But if I could say, rewind the clock and put us against the young generation, we're going to still beat them. So what I want to say on your question, Carlos, in our time, there were also key players. They were key players, and they could discuss and they can analyze They can tell a defender and say, this guy is good on left, like the late Bernard Kotle and the Tiger small Tiger forward, Forrester. Those are the guys that they learn the skills to keep and draw the ball with both feet. And if the defender can come on, doesn't matter, they can keep the ball. There are so many dynamics, including the ball. Well, today they talk about, I don't know whether they still play with genuine leather balls, which is heavy, but they find themselves, even if I look at my Adidas Brazil, I still have it, the last I played my game with. And I compare with my son's stock, two different things. Everything I could say, theirs are not genuine, they are plastic. Ours was real. Look at the bones, we were real. So those are the dynamics that make the whole thing change. But obviously, not to discredit what is happening nowadays, there are some good players are playing. But there is a need to go back and learn from us, learn from you guys. How do they do? The people who can score with head, like you used to do, they have the learning skills. And we knew, like the Ben Kawaya. Who else can say he's better than that guy? What is their positioning when it comes to that? The team, it was cohesive, understanding where the skills, who's having what advantage. And they play as a team. They can protect and defend and score and win as a team or lose as a team.
Veteran of more than 10 years at the club, you obviously falls under the category of club legends, one of the African Stars legends. So what is your message to youngsters or the players that are currently playing for African Stars? African Stars is a massive club, a big club. So do the players understand the value of wearing that red jersey?
Carlos, that is always a question that really wants me to bring me tears. And I would not go to the players. I'll go directly to the leaders, go to the management, top management of African Stars. And we are fortunate enough that we have our homeless, we call it Godfather, he was the father of all of us. He cannot be told. Nobody can tell him the past and the present and the future. The source and information lies with him. So on your question, I would always advise, first thing is that people must be loyal. I know nowadays it's about money. Our time, money doesn't matter. It was the loyalty, the fact that you play for a team, which is a big supporters, the base of, it's like in Namibia, if Africans are playing, it's almost like, even to the extent, it's better than the Brave Warriors is playing. If the marketing goes well, African Star is almost like second, if not the first, for Brave Warriors. What does it mean? It means when they pull over that jersey, they must have respect, discipline, and loyalty. And that is the message to them, that they are playing for a club that have some players that they don't know. They don't know us. And I remember myself, when I walk in the street, I didn't know all of my elders, my people who play for the team. Therefore, we were very respectful, because the guy would say, a teacher, or Timanjo is our team. Then I say, but I never saw this guy. So, youngsters, you don't know us. Everyone has been a player for African Star with proud. Keep our legacy. And if you play for African Star, remember you don't play for yourself. You play for many other people who are there, who are no more there. Be proud first thing, and if you lose your position, do coaching and not, don't run away. A kid never run away from home. If you err, try to make your mistakes, correct your mistakes, and stay home. That's the message we got. Remember I mentioned to you, I was about to be poached by Black Africa. An elder came to me and said, where do you go? This is your home. So there are certain values, morals, and that is that keep you there. It does not mean whoever youngster want to go, whoever green person must not go. Nowadays, there's freedom. Even they can say they can go wherever they want. But when you commit wholeheartedly, then your performance, your output will base on what you have committed for. And that is the message for the youngsters.
Traditionally, a lot of football clubs were formed at long tribal lines. African Stars has been on the forefront of integrating that, taking in players from other ethnic groups. How was the relationship between, I mean, obviously there will be cultural differences and all these kind of things. How was the relationship between the players from different ethnic groups?
You see, Carlos, people who did not sleep and stay together and eat together in that club can be politicized. But the situation within the house, there is like our late president said, it was a house for all. Remember you started with Dondos, who came all the way from, by the time I was not even there.
He came from Congo.
Congo.
Was a refugee.
Yes. Remember the one who was that, the music guy, who was the other one for, came with Dondos, who was the other guy with the Afro guy?
Amerigo de Almeida.
You see, I cannot ask you, you know everything here. No, what does
And
it mean?
Sega Malenga.
You see, now going from that angle, remember in our time, we brought on Domingo, we brought in, he came with another young sharpshooter also.
Ebison.
Ebison, yes. Now, how does this mean? They never feel that they are not part of the group. Remember, forget about those came from abroad. Look at Kakosep, look at George Karisep, look at Lenny, look at all these Indis Damasep, all those guys. We were brothers. So, but some people might use this as an angle for to score whatever the agenda they have. But from our perspective, irrespective of what, African Star, like any sport, had been effective to unite the other group. There was no that you are the one. We stay and sleep and eat together. So if anybody can tell me that African Star was based on that, well, yes, by number, but what is funny about it? But the reality in a camp, there is no discrimination.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure, CK. Thank you.
With
very
that,
much.
we have come to the end of the first edition of African Stars Legends. Cheers.